tie ball game in the 13th, and we're dancing like ding-dongs. Steven calls old Spurrier up. Steve, this is Steve. Beary's coming to kick. Click.
God.
There's a picture of me like this with the ball and facing Florida's dugout. Britney Spears, the NSYNC, the Creed, and Coach Tanner's like, get ready for 2 days. I'm like, 2 days of baseball? Easy. Wingo makes that diving play up the middle and just gets up and throws it. And ball short hops, and I'm the guy that needs to make the next big play. Boom.
At Rosenblatt, when you guys won, I remember sitting right next to your parents when you guys won.
No way. But I took a fungo bat and it had a baseball, and I took some athletic tape and I taped baseball to it, and I wrote bat on ball. We're two JUCO bandits from Florida. You know, we just laugh. We're like, we came here 2 years, win 2 titles, deuces. You know?
Tailgate Talks is proudly presented by our title sponsor, Green's Beverages, South Carolina's go-to spot for all things beer, wine, and spirits. This episode is brought to you by the High Rise Beverage Co. Real fruit-infused THC and CBD seltzers with 0 artificial flavors or colors. Born in South Carolina, High Rise is here to help you elevate every moment, from the tailgate to game day. Sip smart, sip local. Buy High Rise Beverage Co. at your nearest Green store today.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind? Steelhead Brewing in Casey has you covered. Whether you're craving a refreshing craft beer or just a great time with friends and family, Steel Hands has it all. With a variety of craft beers, spacious outdoor beer gardens, and a delicious food menu, there's something for everyone. Plus, join them for free live music every Thursday through Sunday. Visit steelhandsbrewing.com to see their lineup of upcoming events or host your own. Handforce and Casey and voted best local brewery again this year. Go visit steelhandsbrewing.com.
All right, what's up, tailgaters? We are joined here by one of two-time national champion, Gamecock great, buddy that I've known since probably 12, 13 years old back in the day, growing up down in Orlando. Robert Beary. Appreciate you joining us, man.
Appreciate y'all having me. It's G hit me up a while back, probably about a year ago. Was like, hey, you need to get on the I said, well, let me know, and I'll get on it. So he hit me up today, and I happened to be off of work, so it worked out pretty good.
Perfect. I think this guy here, he's like, hey, he goes, SG, man, we have anybody? I was like, I know it's baseball time. Let's get Robert Beary on here. So I'm glad you can make it, dude.
Yeah.
And we can harp a little bit about where Carolina baseball is right now towards the end, but man, it ain't pretty right now.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, talk about growing up down in Orlando. You were a Popka. I was Altamont Springs. We were rivals since the age of, I guess, 7 or 8. As soon as Pop Warner would let us start running into each other. Yeah. But talk about growing up down in Apopka.
Well, good old Apopka. You know, so there's 2 sides of the tracks there. You got South Apopka, and then you have the other side of Apopka.
Yeah.
South Apopka was the fall boys, and those are the guys you want on your team. And, you know, those are the guys that can play 4 quarters, smack you in the mouth, and run a 4.4, 4.3 40 on and off the field.
Yep.
So during the fall, I mean, I think I started playing football in Apopka. Well, back up for that. I was born in Winter Park, Florida. Moved to Apopka about, I think it was 93. Bought a house. My family bought a house. Dad won the election for sheriff in 92.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a young guy that people doubted. He was 32, I think, when he ran for sheriff and won against the incumbent.
That's really young, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
Yeah. No pressure on me. I'm 38 and still still running behind a canine. So yeah, he won at 32. I was probably 4 or 5 about that time. And I think the last thing I remember at his victory party, I was running around in a dinosaur costume or something. So yeah, I grew up in Apopka, started playing sports at a young age.
Yeah.
You know, I was homeschooled, so we did a lot of sports. If we once we finished school, and No, in Florida, the whole Tim Tebow thing, you can play for your
Yep.
district or whatnot in the
Yep.
public school system. About the only thing I missed in public school was maybe some of the high school drama that during lunch break or whatever. But I was there at third period in football. Played baseball, played soccer, all for Apopka High. But growing up, I was at least a two or three sport athlete,
Yep.
just because my schedule allowed it in school. Um, Started at a young age.
To
Played.
kind of not to kind of harp on that real quick. You got how many kids do you have now?
I have three boys under five.
Three. So are you going to
God bless
homeschool
you.
them?
Right at the point, no, because my wife's not up for it, and then, yeah, I don't blame her. If they were girls, maybe it would work out, but they're my DNA, and I wouldn't put that one on anyone right now.
Is homeschooling kind of big up there in Columbia? Because I know it's growing substantially
It's
here in
grown
Canada.
all over,
Yeah.
especially during the after COVID. It's been a huge jump in the homeschooling world, and you actually see a lot of percentages in business owners were homeschoolers
Mhm.
because they had so much extra free time once they, I could get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and be done with my school by 9 o'clock. And like,
Yeah.
as a 10, 12-year-old kid, got all, did all your little lesson plan. I'm outside with my brother digging holes, trying to see how far we can dig before it caves in. We spend a lot of time outside, um, outside of, getting our school done. Um, but, grew up playing football and baseball, and sometimes soccer. I did gymnastics at one point at a young age. I swam,
Yeah.
so I
Hey, were you
started.
on the Popka Little League team that won the won the U.S. World Series?
I was on the team before it, so like Stuart Tapley and
Yeah.
Brendan Brewer, those kids, Justin LeFavors, all those guys that I think a couple of them played over at Lake Brantley at some point. It's been a
Yep.
while. Um, I played with them. They were 11 when I was 12. We made it to the Tampa Regional, which is basically the tournament right before you go to Williamsport, and we
Yep.
lost. I think West Virginia. They had some like 6'2", 12-year-olds, about 215 pounds. We ended up beating them earlier in the week, but we lost to them when it mattered, and that was it for us. And then the year after, the 11-year-olds that were 12 obviously went to Williamsport and won the national title there. And the whole story of Danny Almonte, who
Yep.
Oh,
who was
yeah.
who was 14 in the
Yeah.
12-year-olds. So that big debacle. Um, but yeah, I mean,
I mean,
Apopka.
like Popka had so many athletes. Like it was unreal. I mean, there were you guys probably year over year had 6 or 7 guys played Division I football off that high school team. Had 2 to 3 guys going to play either basketball or baseball somewhere. Like
Yeah,
it was loaded. So I mean, Apopka and Altamont Springs, our two hometowns, were like side by side. So we weren't in the same division. They were Orange County, we were Seminole County, but we played each other the first game of the year every year in high school, and it was like they wanted to kill us.
Bloodbath.
We were kind of
oh
like
yeah,
the preppy school, and they were like
yeah,
the country, like come freaking rip your heart out school. Um, so we had some battles. I want to say my sophomore year it got canceled because of the hurricane. Um,
yeah. 05, I think it was.
yeah, but then you guys won in '06, and then we came back and beat you guys in '07 because we stole Carl Randolph from you, quarterback, came in and ran triple option for us.
Yeah. I rolled my ankle. You tackled me, and I popped the hell out of my ankle, and I had to just kick the rest of the game. I was playing because I played both ways. Shockingly, the one white guy.
For real.
I was
Uh,
about to say I don't remember Apopka having many
No,
Caucasians.
no. There were not many
no,
Dale ankles on that team.
I was fairly good athlete early on. I mean, I played soccer during the fall or right after football season, but I was the one white chocolate out there that could keep up with the brother. So we would I enjoyed it. I miss the high school days of football. It was so much fun. But I
It's
remember, yeah,
pure.
2006 we played at y'all's house,
Yep.
but and then y'all beat us. Yeah, I rolled the hell out of my ankle that senior year. But backing up, Yeah, I mean, grew up playing Pop Warner, playing
Mhm.
against Pat
Yeah.
all those years. You know, it was always Pop Lake Brantley rival,
Yeah.
and he was right. I mean, they'd have, you know, 30 white guys and 15 black guys and be a good football team.
Yeah.
We'd have the very
Yeah.
opposite. And
Opposite spectrum.
you were lucky you were the one little token white guy out there that could actually be good enough to start and play.
Mhm.
Um, but once I got into for the Pop Warner days and Little League days, we all kind of went our separate ways. I think Trey, who we
Trey
were
and
talking
Teddy.
about,
Yep.
Trey, Eddie, the Blackmans, they went to Lake Brantley. I stayed at Apopka. Tapley's went to the Boone High School. So all of our little leagues, once we got of age in ninth grade, we all kind of dispersed our separate ways.
Yeah, that transfer portal NIL hit back in the early mid 2000s.
Yeah, yeah, early on.
Did
But
you
yeah,
you homeschooled in high school too?
yeah, yeah. Now I would take
No
some block
shit.
classes. Yeah, I took some block classes at a private school, Hampton of Bowes Academy, which is actually a school that my uncle runs. My great grandfather started it way back in the 50s for missionary families that were coming back into the States. It was basically a boarding school for them to go to school while they lived in the States, and now he runs it, and it's probably almost the highest capacity it's been ever. Um, Now that they're running it, and it's doing really well, and it's always been in the family kind of a thing. I got married there, and it's been a place that, you know, I'm gonna tell some bad stories, but during the day it's a school, and and at night we're shooting raccoons out of trees
Yeah.
and chasing people out of the. We used to have, now it's all fenced in, but we used to have to chase cars out of there because they're out there trying to do the dirty over in the school property. So I think I got in my first car chase when I was about 18 years old, running people out of there that were trying to either steal from there or looking to hook up. So,
That's when you're
but
like, law enforcement's for me. I knew it.
yeah, it kind of runs in the blood. You know, you kind of learn something when you're riding around with Dad on Friday nights if he doesn't have somebody in his front seat outside. But yeah, growing up, Popka, Little League, getting into high school, being the sheriff's son. Dad was the sheriff in Orange County for 16 years, so he was the man
Yeah.
in the
Jesus.
area. You know, got to, which was a cool experience in its own. We could spend all day talking about that. Got to meet a lot of cool people. I mean, back in the day, you know, like the Britney Spears, the NSYNCs, the Creed, Ken Gifford Jr. is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But if I could say anyone, outside of that was Shaquille O'Neal. He was always a guy um, that was willing to do anything for kids,
Yeah.
and he was at some of my dad's campaign parties, and I always highly talk about him. And he's just one that just who you see on TV is who he is in real life,
Yeah.
and
He
it's not just PR. It's
he
he's
still
legit.
lives down there in Orlando. He lives right next
He lives
door to
by the Crowfoots,
Crowfoot's.
right?
Yeah, Ike Crowfoot, who's a long snapper at Carolina. He lives right next door to
Yep.
them. He let, I mean, like you're spot on. He's freaking awesome. But he would let the Crowfoot boys in for like homecoming and like high school and all that stuff. He would let them borrow his car so they can drive it to homecoming.
He will do anything for. He's
Um,
just a good dude. He used to ride on Friday nights with Dad when he was with Orlando Magic,
mhm.
and you know, he would be the big guy sitting in the front seat of an expedition, and I always thought it
Yeah.
was so cool.
Well, isn't he like an honorary deputy or some
Oh
shit?
yeah, he's honorary deputy in multiple agencies. Dad made. I think it started with Dad when he was in Orlando, and as he went to the different teams, he went to the local
Local
agency,
sheriff.
yeah, and became honorary. He's very big with taking care of the kids and doing anything he can for kids programs. Um, and you know, I can always respect that in someone his statue.
Well, I mean, growing up down
Um,
in Orlando, the Magic were pretty freaking good when we were kids too. So it made it
yeah,
pretty easy to
it was
pull
a
for
big
them.
thing then. Yeah, yeah. Dad used to tell me stories. He'd be riding with him on a Friday night sometime, and he'd do a traffic stop, and the traffic stop would go to hell when they finally look in the rearview mirror and they see this 7'3" dude standing over taller than the expedition. They're like,
I'm out. I'm
Yeah.
out. Go ahead and handcuff me right now.
I give up.
So yeah, so like the law enforcement side of things goes a long way. I'm like fourth generation, I think. I think my grandfather and his grandfather and my uncles, all on my dad's side, were law enforcement at some point. Three out of them, 3 out of the 4 of his siblings retired law enforcement. My grandfather retired, and his grandfather. So it kind of runs hard and deep, but yeah, I mean, I know we're all kind of all over the place, going back, trying to get back into the sports world of things.
Yeah, well, talk about how coming out of high school, I mean, Popka had a lot of attention. You guys were a good team. You guys made the playoffs year after year. Like baseball, football, like getting recruited out of high school. I mean, you ended up going to JUCO. Like, talk about that experience. Why? I mean, was being one of the lone little white boys on the team, did that hurt you? Did that help you? Did that give you the edge to achieve later on down the road? But like, how did you end up at Pensacola and not, somewhere like South Carolina right off the bat?
I think growing up, my mom comes from a missionary family, so like the whole AAU travel ball scene, playing on every Sunday. You got 12-year-olds playing 60-something games in like a 4-month period, and church was a big thing for her, and so I didn't really get into that travel ball scene real heavy, where we were traveling to California and playing all kinds of wild showcase tournaments. But I think like the biggest side of my success in baseball would be playing the other sports. Soccer was a speed. It could be a speed sport, and then football is just the toughness side of things. Each sport has its benefits, and which molded me to be a better baseball player. You know, Soccer I played just because most of my close friends were soccer players, so I would just play so I had time in between the entire year just to hang out with them, and it's just something that I could play. I kicked for a Popka outside of the other positions. But once I got into, I think it was my senior midgets or whatever in Pop Warner, I ended up picking off a ball, running it back, and spiking the ball, and then having to kick like a 35-yard PAT, and that's where the kicking game blossomed for the high school, because the high school coaches were there, and they're like, Barry, you're going to come out for summer workouts. I was like, yeah, sure. I'm like 140-pound, 14-year-old kid, and so I said, yeah, I'll be there. So I showed up first summer right before freshman year, and they're like, here's our kicker. And then there was like a junior and a couple juniors that were kicking. So we'd go out and kick after lifting and kick, and then go run with the team. And so my freshman year, I made the varsity as a kicker. So I was like their little puppet.
Yeah.
Didn't Apopka have a kicker that went to South Carolina?
No.
I feel like I think his name was like Jordan.
I think
He
so.
was he was from Orlando. I could have sworn he said he was from Apopka.
There was one. I know we had one that went to Coastal a couple years after me. I think he was more in my brother's grade. I remember hearing someone that went to Coastal. I
I'll have to look. I don't know.
jumping a few years ahead. I was gonna go kick for y'all with y'all after the 2011 season, and I remember going over here to G's apartment or whatever at Aspire.
Aspire. Oh
Oh
God.
gosh.
So you called me over. He's like, "Hey man, we got a victory cigar." This is jumping way ahead. And so we come over, and I remember, not putting your business out there, but I remember G can always drink really, really fast.
Yeah, he was good.
He was good at it. Outside of running people over and throwing touchdowns, he could throw a beer back as fast as I ever seen. And now he's
So could this guy.
I was good back in the day too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had plenty of practice.
We had a lot of practice.
I remember we were at your apartment. It was like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and I told you, I was like, "Hey, I've got a year to burn. I'm thinking about kicking." And Steven calls old Spurrier up at like
Oh
12
God,
o'clock. He's a message.
at
He
midnight.
goes, "Steve, this is Steve. Barry's coming to kick." Click.
God,
You don't remember that? I
Jesus.
know you don't.
No, I do not recall that, but that sounds about right.
That does sound about right.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't near it. I didn't have as many beers as you did, so I promise you, it's not. It was as innocent as told it. You
Yeah.
didn't say much more.
Yeah.
I, I
Like, what
do.
did I do last night?
There's plenty of times where I would see Coach Bird and he's like, "Hey, you remember calling me last night?" I do not. I do not. Yeah, Mo would not do that anymore. Yep. All right, got you. Hear you loud and clear, Coach. Oh, yeah.
Well,
But yeah,
Oh,
man, those were the days, man.
oh, they were fun. They
yeah.
were
Well,
fun.
talk
They
about
were,
like life at Pensacola. Talk about the JUCO life and kind of how that ended up paving you into South Carolina and the recruiting process
yeah,
after JUCO.
I know we just get way off track like squirrels, but
That's how it goes, man.
Hey, when
yeah,
buddies are talking, shit happens.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, you start reminiscing too fast. But yeah, like going into high school football. I mean, football I think paved the way on the toughness side of things, and I wasn't the biggest one out there. Um, most of my teammates, they were black stud athletes. Some of them, Kyle Wilbur went and played for the
Yep.
Oakland Raiders and Cowboys, and
Yep. He's a stud.
he was a good. Yeah, these are kids that I grew up with, and they're just some of them were just different worlds apart, and we were only like separated by about 5 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and but those years of developing and in the gym, you know, and then playing baseball in the spring, I was far more stronger because of football
Mm-hmm.
and the workouts that I had to do from June to through August and all the way in through the season. And then once I got into the spring season, I think my sophomore year I really hit a growth spurt. And I remembered a coach. I won't say his name, but I remember a coach coming up to me um, in the gym after just getting done power cleaning or something. He's like, "Barry." I was like, "Yes, sir." He's like, "Are you taking anything?" I'm like, and I mean, I don't know if it was because my neck and all of that. I just hit a major growth spurt, and until still to this day, I don't want you could call it mesomorph.
Yeah.
Doesn't take much, um, and I was like, "No, sir." I mean, I started taking creatine like 2 weeks ago, but that shit sucks. Now, 15 years later, like creatine everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, and so that was like the first turning point. I was like, maybe I'm starting to develop here. And then junior year, sophomore year, I actually broke my hip kicking early in the year. We had a rain delay. I think Freedom High School was like
Yep.
it's like the first couple years Freedom High School was
Mm-hmm.
opened up, and we had a rain delay, and we had to rush out there, and I didn't stretch enough, and I was booming some balls, and all of a sudden I started to feel a pain in my groin, but I actually didn't know, so I kicked on drugs for all of football season. Like I was taking like Celebex and ibuprofen on Friday nights and just going out there and just kicking. Wouldn't kick all week long. Kick on Friday nights,
Yep.
and that was the start of that. Um, but you got those two little bones at the base of your pelvic right here, and actually that's what I snapped. I snapped one of those bones off, and then didn't find out till baseball season. I had to walk around for 6 weeks. But uh, going into my junior year, I was telling the coaches, "Hey, man, I want to play other positions outside of
Yep.
just kicking." And they're like, "No, we don't want you to get hurt." I was like, "Well, I won't play if you don't let me play." So junior year, we were doing Oklahoma, and on our 2 days in August, and I was lined up. They had a blocking back and a running back. I don't know what happened. I wish they had it was on on camera, but they said it was the greatest thing they've ever seen a kicker do. So the whistle blows, we flip, and I end up hitting the blocker into the running back and just driving them in. I remember my helmet came down on my nose was bleeding, and all the players were losing their mind because they thought it was the greatest thing ever that their kicker just blew up two people. And that was the start where they actually were like, all right, Barry, we'll see what you can play. So I started to play, running back, wide receiver. And I think I ended up finding a home in strong safety and safety.
Yeah, they thought you were Bobby Boucher.
Yeah.
Fucking shit
No
up.
shit. Jesus.
I wish all I was told is that they said it was the greatest thing they've ever seen from someone my size blowing up these two players.
Well, you were
And
strong, like no doubt about it. Like
Yeah.
the guy. I mean, you like. I feel like everybody at a Popka. If you were a white boy and played on a Popka's football team, you either were mean as shit or you were strong as shit, and probably both. It just was like a nature of the beast.
yeah, no, we had a couple guys that earned their keep during those years. I think what was it? The other one was Andy Williamson. He
Yeah.
went on to be like a pararescue or something like that.
Yeah.
I think he lives in Western now. I don't know, but he was a tough SOB too.
Yeah.
He played a whole year, senior year, with like a broken chip shoulder or something like that. He didn't have surgery until after the fact. But so football, I think I can attest that it taught me a lot when it comes to just the grit and being and grinding through things, and the character club that Coach Darlington used to call it when we all get in trouble. We'd be rolling across the field for 2 hours after fighting the juniors and seniors in the locker room, stupid shit like that. So I think the grit comes from football for sure. Getting into the baseball world again, I didn't play a lot of travel ball. I played some, which was with Trey, and his dad was the coach.
Yeah, Huey.
Trey and Eddie were on my team, and always, Coach Huey was our coach, and we played with whoever wanted to play. And we had some guys, we had some really good athletes that probably could have played some D1, like Bo French, a couple of these guys, let's go these names.
Yeah.
That, like life in high school, some go one way and some go the other, and then some stay play, and then blah, blah, blah. But got into, the high school world. I played baseball during the spring, football in the fall, and sometimes soccer. I think the recruiting start for me was probably like junior, senior year for most. But it was actually Chip Gerke from Edgewater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. His son was at West Florida, University of West Florida, D2. And that was a lot of it. And it was actually the coach, the baseball coach, which is, I think it was Chip, either Coach Gerke. It was one of the Gerke.
Yeah.
And he's a legend down there, coached for 40 odd years. But on the baseball side, he's the one that told his son, who was coaching at West Florida at the time, hey, man, you need to come look at this Beary kid. He's, from what I was told, he goes, man, this kid's probably our best hitter in Central Florida. And he's a sleeper because I don't play travel ball.
Yep.
So I didn't really showcase. So I was supposed to go to West Florida and took the SAT. I don't know how many times. I couldn't tell you. I was so.
That was the worst.
Oh God! Like, and the
And
worst
when we took it, we had to do the writing portion of it.
Yeah.
dude, it's terrible. And I was
feel
terrible.
like I alone caused them to not do that again because my handwriting is so terrible. They're like, why are we asking these dipshit kids to
Oh,
write?
well, not only
This is
that, it's like
ridiculous.
you're there for what, 6 hours, 6 hours. I can't remember anymore.
Brutal.
Yeah, and it was on a Saturday morning after either a high school football game or after you have too many beers. Yeah.
And there's no way. Like
ridiculous.
I was terrible at this test because at about 45 to an hour and a half in, the last hour and a half, I'm like, just to prove that, hey, I'm smarter than everyone. I'm done. So I just ran through it.
So
And
I got a story about the SAT when Trey Trey had a hard time becoming
Yeah,
eligible
yeah.
for
So
games.
I used some of his same tutors because Trey and I were in the same boat.
Well, but Trey, like, so I did decent on the SAT, and his mom made me take it over again and take it in the same class that he was in. So I made sure that he was awake the entire time. So
Holy shit.
I think I took it twice. I scored well the first time. The second time, my job was to throw paper at Trey whenever he does off during the SAT.
I hope
That's
they
so
paid you. I
funny.
hope they paid you for that shit.
Well, we went to the Blackman's house a lot
Jesus.
and had some fun. It was a good ROI.
Yeah. Oh, and and like everything happens for a reason. I took the test so many times, and I guess the scores didn't really come back all at once. And basically, I didn't have a high enough score to go to West Florida, and it worked out in my favor. And unfortunate for West Florida, but it worked out in my favor because the junior college, which was back then Pensacola Junior College. Now I think it's PS Pensacola State College or whatnot. Um, Back then they lost the second baseman or whatever. He was a rising sophomore, ended up getting a D1 offer to Louisville or something like that. So he jumped ship, opened up a scholarship spot at Pensacola Junior College, and I went up there, took ground balls at second base. I mean, I played. I was in high school. I caught one year, played out left field freshman, sophomore year, caught my junior year, and played center field my senior year. Just
Yeah.
because I was the guy that they could move around and give us the best lineup for all of our sticks to be in. To have our best lineup, I had to play wherever it was good for the team. Um, and so went up to Pensacola and took some ground balls at second base. I haven't played second base since like I was 12 years old with the Chet Lemon juice, and hit in the batting cage. And Coach Martin at the time, he's now the head coach at North Florida or whatever that school is on the Panhandle area, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll sign you." So signed Pensacola Junior College. Showed up in the fall, probably hit like 250. I mean, I didn't have a very good fall as a freshman, trying to figure out how to live by myself,
Yeah.
and doing the whole school and sports thing. Um, Freshman or opening season comes around. I guess what is that? 09 or I guess 08, 09,
Yeah.
whatever it is. We're down in Indian River and um, have like I think we were playing a 3-game series down there. One of the players on Indian River hit 3 bombs in his first 3 at bats. I thought
Is
like,
that a is that a train back there?
yeah.
I'm getting
You're in
PTSD
Columbia.
right now.
How many trains in Columbia?
God. Oh
Oh yeah, the spiders, right?
God.
Yeah, the old Irmo train. We had an earthquake here. Here's another squirrel. We had a 2.8 here in Irmo the other day. My
Oh
wife and
wow.
I. Yeah, we were sitting watching some movie or whatnot because all my boys are at Gigi's and Pop's house for the night. So we had a day off, and next thing we hear this, and then it was like this loud explosion. Like, oh, we're under attack. Red Dawn.
Oh shit.
It was this huge explosion. And I'm like, oh great! Now here goes the ring Karens of the world are gonna be like, what was that? So my phone's blowing up, and end up like looking up the next day. It was a 2.8 earthquake here in Irmo.
Hey, Gamecocks. At Granger Rowings, style starts with you. From custom fits to emerging brands, they offer a curated selection of women's and men's clothing for work, weekends, and every moment in between. Their stylists take the time to understand your lifestyle, then help you build a wardrobe that fits your needs and feels like you. Shop in store, downtown on Main Street and Trenton Plaza, or book a fitting online at grangerowings.com. Granger Owings, where personal style meets personal service.
Listen up, Gamecock Nation. Meet your new favorite streamer, Deputy Smitty. A former police officer and diehard South Carolina Gamecock fan, Deputy Smitty brings action-packed content to life every night on Twitch starting at 9:30 p.m. Connect with him on social media by searching Deputy Smitty and join his growing community on Discord at discord.gg/Deputy Smitty. So grab a drink and catch the thrills, laughs, and plenty of Gamecock pride in every stream.
Tailgate Talks is brought to you by JCQ Farms, a proud South Carolina family farm rooted in tradition and built on quality. Whether it's their premium beef, farm fresh produce, or their signature smoked meats, JCQ Farms brings the taste of the South straight to your table. Perfect for your next tailgate, backyard barbecue, or family dinner. Remember, always support your American farms because they are drying out each day. Support local, eat better, and stock up for the season. JCQ Farms, where quality meets Carolina pride.
Going back to the baseball, opening season or opening series down in Indian River. I think, if I recall, I don't know if it was Panhandle Player of the Week or National Player of the Week. I was like 10 for 15 with like 12 RBIs and a jack or two or something like that.
It's a good weekend.
Yeah, it was a really good opening weekend, and the thing about playing multiple sports, I never really got to focus in on really baseball, and I knew baseball was kind of gonna, if I wanted to play, it would take me to college outside of kicking. I just never really chased the kicking side of thing. I tried at Florida, and Coach Meyer didn't like scholarship kickers or guests or whatever. So, so I had a great my freshman year. I mean, you could have thrown probably a BB at me at 90 miles an hour. It was just one of those seasons that just the entire season, I was just crushing the ball.
Yeah.
The ball came in looking like this all the time. And we actually had a really good team, too. We were number one in the nation for like 8 weeks straight. We had like a 28-game win streak.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. And we were a good team. We had some good ball players. We had a couple guys barely spoke some English, but could catch the ball, scoop it at short, and play. We had a catcher that could, hit and throw it. But all of our guys, our whole lineup were D1. Or three of our pitchers were D1 and played. At least got a shot in the minor leagues, big leagues. So my freshman year, I really kind of blossomed as a baseball player. I was like, oh, maybe I'm a good player. Because in high school, I was going D2, then went to junior college. So I really blossomed after my freshman year. I broke school records. I was Panhandle Conference Player of the Year. Played against some really good arms. We had like some guys that played in the big leagues.
So do you have to do 2 years at JUCO? When you go to JUCO, you can't transfer for one?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I just, they gave me a shot. They gave me a scholarship. I wasn't going to just jump ship after my freshman year. So freshman year had the best year of, I realized I could hit home runs.
Mm-hmm.
I hit a few home runs in high school. I hit for the cycle in high school and did all that one game, but not like I did in my freshman year. Like I said, you could throw a BB at me and I'd have hit it.
Yeah.
And I think I ended the season with like 16 or 18 home runs and like 70, 80 RBIs, something crazy. And then got the accolades, and I didn't even know anything about it. My teammates were like, "Hey, did you look up to such and such?" And I was like, "No, what happened?" I was like, "You got the Conference Player of the Year." I was like, "Oh, cool." Didn't know anything. Didn't know. Didn't even think about it. I guess then I went to going into my sophomore year. I got invited to play for the the JUCO USA team, and it's a bunch of just all-star JUCO guys.
Yep.
And you play against the Chinese Taipei for a series. And I met a couple guys. I think Brock Holt was on that team.
Yeah.
And he played with Boston. and was like a all-around player. Rockholt was there. He ended up playing at Rice, and a couple dudes that I still talk to today were on that team. And we ended up having rain delay. The first game, about 2 innings in, we started sliding across the tarp, and woke up the next day, played the next morning, and finished the first game, played the second game. And I think I was like 5 for 7 with a home run and with a wooden bat. And then that's when the heavy recruiting started for the D1 schools. I think it started with Oklahoma State.
Okay.
And I think the coach at the time they called him Coach Emo, and he ran me down the parking lot with my mom, and they're like, oh, and this I was never highly recruited out of high school, so now it's just being thrown at me.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, and knowing you, that's not your style too. Like you're like, this is weird. Get away from me. I just want to go play.
Yeah. And so they started heavily recruiting me first, and then Coach Turtle Thomas, who was down at FIU, he started, and he just left LSU, and I was at FIU. It was FIU, FAU, Florida called. I did an unofficial at FSU, and then Coach Tanner, and I guess it was actually Monty Lee at the time. Monty Lee called first, and then the next week he called me because he got the head coaching job at Charleston. And then Coach Holbrook and Coach Calvi, I think, started to call me for Carolina.
Yeah.
And Oral Roberts, a lot of these baseball schools, a lot of these smaller schools, just everybody was calling, and I was talking to someone at least once a day, twice a day, blah blah blah, and it's just thrown at you. I mean, you were recruited out of high school. You had a couple, or were you highly recruited out of high school?
Man, I was a 2-star. Like I did not have my pick of the litter. I was whoever wanted to give me a scholarship and give me a cool opportunity, I was in for it.
Yeah. And I remember I played with a guy. Did you, Steve? Do you know a kid named Joey Delgado in high school?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So he played with me at Pensacola, and I remember hearing about you from him. He talked highly about you, what a stud football player you were, and he was a
No
good
shit.
ball player. He was a good
Yeah.
pitcher. That
Yeah.
guy he was a right-handed pitcher, had like a noodle arm. He picked off more guys at first base. He would do it 5 times in a row and still pick the guy off at the 5th time he threw over him. It was the
I,
craziest thing I ever seen.
I haven't heard that name in so long, man. I gotta find him on Facebook or something and reach out.
He went into the military. I had him on Facebook for a while. He went in the military. He was in the Navy for a while.
No shit.
But at least from his Facebook. But yeah,
Yeah,
the last time I saw him was a sophomore year of college. But he talked highly of Steven because they were from the same area, or they went to the same. Y'all went to the same school.
So yeah, we went to Jefferson together. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And so, going back to the recruiting side of things, just getting the calls left and right. I did an official visit at Oklahoma State. I think I did one at Florida. I only used 3 of the 5, and then I did one at Carolina, and Witt and Wingo were my chaperones. And
Oh shit.
yeah,
Wingo's not much of a chaperone. Witt, I would say.
No, I think he gave some guy. This is another funny story. He gave some guy $20 that conned him out of $20. 10 years later, the same guy hit me up in the parking lot and conned me out of $10, and I was like, I think that was the same dude because I remember this story. So it's a crazy thing, but yeah, Witt and Wingo were my chaperones. And I told him this year while we were playing. I was like, one of the biggest reasons is just Wingo's his personality. He's the one kind of person that just can make a room light up because he's just funny.
Yeah.
And I don't think he means to be funny. He's just funny.
Yeah.
And but his personality and wit was a good dude. And then the stadium, the brand new stadium. $40 million stadium that was being built, and it wasn't fully finished. They were able to practice on it, but I could, obviously see the stands and the grandstands and all that. So that was a big thing. But actually, out of high school, I came up for a Christmas hitting camp here at Carolina, and hit in front of Coach Tanner and them, and I was a junior. I think I was a rising junior. So I came in, hit off the tee, hit, and then they kind of pulled me off to the side and let me hit on Sarge Fry. And they're like, "Hey, what position you play?" You know, I'm like this football kid, because it was Christmas, so it was after football season, and I didn't really play baseball during football season. So they're like, "Yeah," like I was like, "I can catch, I can play left, I don't care what, I just want to play." And um, so I hit in front of them. They're like, we really don't need a catcher. Thanks for your time, kind of thing. So I remembered that. And so once recruiting started to show up, and then Coach Tanner starts calling me.
Fancy
And
you're calling me again.
yeah, I kind of used it because this was back right when on UNC, North Carolina, did a three-peat with Omaha. We
Yep.
went to Omaha 3 years in a row, and they started calling. And I was really like leaning towards South Carolina, and I'm not gonna not bragging. And they gave me a really good baseball scholarship. It's not like that today where these kids get paid to do whatever. I had a really good baseball scholarship to come here, and I was able to get a little bit more money because I told Coach Holberg, guys, "Hey, your old team just called me and they want me to do an official visit." Coach Holberg's like, "We really want you," da da da. I was like, he goes, "What if we give you a little more money?" I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
He goes, I was like, he's like, "What? You I was like, "Yeah, I'll sign with you," just like that.
Yeah.
He
Leverage,
goes, "Really?" I said,
motherfucker.
"Yeah, I won't go on that, but you gave me more money, I'll go." So I played. So I started to learn the business side of things, and got a really good scholarship here. So, and it's a place that I wanted to play out of high school, and I just wouldn't tell them that. I've and lo and behold, I have a lot of family history here on my mom's and dad's side. Originated, especially in the missionary side, where right out here. And I think at one point I had a ancestor was the president of USC.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I think my grandfather, on my mom's side, used to stay at one of the buildings off the Horseshoe when they were dorms.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's weird, and I think I definitely have kin that are buried in the city somewhere at some of the cemeteries around town. Um, so there's a lot of weird,
Stars aligned.
yeah,
Yeah.
they definitely did. So, rolling into Carolina going into my sophomore year in junior college, I blew up my wrist blocking the plate.
Mm-hmm.
So freshman year, I was playing left and right. Played third a little bit, and then sophomore year, I went back to catch. I was like, coach was like, I want to catch. I'm a catcher. I've always had to play all these other positions because I'm able to, and it helps the team out. Blah blah blah. I was always like, the team game, the team guy. Wherever I can, wherever you need me, I'll play. But ultimately, if I can go back, I would have tried to focus more on catching.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have done a lot better in the long run if I would have focused in on catching. But just being a team guy and just trying to find a place in the lineup. That's what I was always told to do. So, sophomore year, I was blocking the plate, tag up from right field, ball comes in, catch the ball, guy comes in, clean slide, just comes in hard, blows my wrist up, pops my whatever ulnar radius ligament that basically holds these two bones together. You can still see the nice fat scar.
Damn.
So
Jesus
34
Christ.
games in, caught every game all the way up to 34 games, and done. Like I couldn't hold a baseball bat or anything like this. Everything, if I had to hold anything, it just had to be straight up and down.
Yeah.
So sat out before getting an MRI. Month later, 2 months later, still nothing. Get an MRI. They're like, "Yeah, dude, your ligaments exploded. You've got ganglion cysts and all that right there." And Pensacola, I heard, is exploded now, but they had a Dr. Andrews Institute right there in Pensacola, and it was brand new. It was like less than 2 years old. So they're like, "We're going to send you over to this hand specialist under his clinic. Go in there," and the guy's like, "Yeah, you'll be back in 8 weeks." I'm like, "What?" So I go in for surgery. I called Coach Tanner because I already signed with them. I called Coach Tanner and tell him what happened. They're like, all right, no worries, you know.
Yep.
And that summer, I stayed up in Pensacola and had surgery. Went through all that. Went through rehab. Came home for a hot minute, I guess, and then showed up at Carolina. Actually, was roommates with Witt my junior year over off South Pickens Street,
Yep.
right at the top of the hill, which was good. So I showed up. I was catching bullpens again. Beary here. I was given the scholarship to come hit. They're like, we'll just find a spot. We'll figure it out. So Barry showed up. I catch bullpens, and at the time, I couldn't throw it back yet. I didn't have anything. I was still had a cast. But I was able to at least catch the ball. So I was catching bullpens. Had one of the other catchers, like I think Endo, Kyle Enders, to throw it back. So that's how I did. I'd catch the ball, give it to
This is so much
him.
fun. This is exhilarating.
It was terrible. So, but I was willing to like figure it out. So I'm catching bullpens, and then finally, I was there with Brainerd, and he was the mama goose of the road. He'd take care of you any way he could, and and he made me sit out 12 weeks. So I really only got to play like the back end of fall league, like the last couple games or whatever. So I got maybe like 8 at bats my first fall season. And then you go on Christmas break. I'm in an SEC school. I don't know anything right now. Show up, Coach Tanner. We play the first few games or fall games, spring games, I say, and I still don't know where I'm playing. So, Coach Tanner, I think opening game, or I think it was opening game, or I think I played left field opening day, and then the next day I played first base. I've never played first base. Not that I couldn't, but he's like, "Hey Barry, can you play first?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I mean,
Yep.
I'm athletic. I can jump. I'm not very tall, but I can jump."
Yep.
So I played first base, and yeah, like that's how it was. It's like, hey, like 5 minutes before the game, it's like, Barry, you're gonna go play left. You're gonna play right. You're gonna play.
Well, it is funny, like looking back, like doing some research going into this, like you were catcher / utility man. Like,
Yeah,
what's your like titled position
yeah.
in 2010, and then 2011 you were catcher.
Well, that was the thing. I played Friday night. I played left or right field,
Yeah.
mostly right. It depends on injuries, but Friday night I would play right field, catch on Saturday, play the outfield on Sunday, and it wasn't towards the end of the season. When Thomas Brady fractured the outside of his foot, and he couldn't squat no more, but he could still like hit and run.
Yep.
That's when I took over the catching full time. But yeah, so like I 2/3 of the time I was playing outfield. That 1/3 on Saturday I'd play behind the plate.
Hey,
So
whatever it takes, coach. Whatever
that was it. And
takes.
that was just to give Brady. Brady got that 6-year super senior year allotted to him after he got sick his freshman year at FSU, and so it was looking early on my senior year I was going to catch, and we had a guy named Dante Rosenberg who was a really good catcher. His dad played in the big leagues, and now he's like this superstar jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah, saw that.
Yeah. I always tell him.
With him.
I always send him stuff on Instagram, and I say, "Dude, I'm just gonna shoot you." Like my son's a jujitsu, but
I'm just gonna
like
shoot
if you ever come at me, I'm just gonna shoot you because I already know what you can do. We're not even gonna go there. You're not touching me. I'm just gonna shoot you in the leg or something. So, but yeah, then Brady comes into the batting cage and says, "Hey, I got my year." I was like, "Well, looks like I'm putting my outfield glove back on." And that's how it went. So like I was just trying to figure out how to get in the lineup full time. And going back in the 2010 season, I was playing a lot of outfield.
Yeah.
And I think I got about, I don't know, 200 at bats, maybe 100 at bats. I don't know what it was. Didn't play full time, but I was playing enough. and I was learning how to be a good teammate. When I wasn't playing. As frustrating as it was, it was the name of the game. When I was trying to just, keep my spirit up, and when the time was called to go pinch hit or pinch run or go play defense for the last couple of innings, you go out there with good spirits and you give it your all.
Well, it helps when the team's winning to have like
Yeah,
a positive
yeah,
mentality going into that stuff too.
yeah. So in 2010, we go to, I think it was an ECU, and dropped 2 out of 3, and it was cold as balls out there. I hadn't played in baseball. I played baseball in Florida. Then you go up there and it's like East Carolina or Eastern Carolina, and it's 25 degrees out and it's cold as shit, windy, and they looked you up, your Facebook and everything about you, and they're just grilling you for
Yeah.
their fans or lean up against the fence, and
Pat,
they're
who did we have on that said that same thing?
Oh
probably
no, it was Jackie.
Jackie.
Yeah.
Jackie got it too.
Yeah.
I remember a couple times, especially at Tennessee, they said some things that were very inappropriate
Yeah.
to Jackie.
I could imagine.
And and it got, well, we beat the shit out of them. That was before Tennessee was any good.
But that was
But
the best part of playing in the SEC, man. I love doing that.
oh
And hearing those people talking shit, calling me Mexican, I was like, what are you guys talking about? I'm Cuban, you assholes. But I loved all that. But yeah, man, I remember hearing that Jackie was saying that East Carolina game was freezing cold.
oh yeah, and we sucked. We couldn't do anything right there. And I just remember going. We had the quietest ride back. I don't know, 6 hours or 4 or 5 hours from Eastern Carolina, and we're back at. I'm sure y'all have heard this story maybe once at least, but we were back at the locker room, and Coach Tanner's like, "None of y'all leave." We're like, "Ah, shit." And so we're all sitting in our lockers, numbered. It's all numbered. Morales, me, uh, it was Witt, and then Wingo, and then down the line.
Yeah.
And he goes to us one by one and just picks something out that he can just dig us with. And he's like, "Morales, you didn't go to class." And he goes, "No, no, 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 Coach, I go to class." And he goes, "Barry, you think you're tough." It just goes down the line and wears us out individually. And that was probably the turning point in our team. And that was, and he had a guy like Bobby Haney who, like, he's just the goofball of everything, but can absolutely scoop everything up at shortstop. He would do the imitations of Coach, and it turned into like the team morale thing of when just going back and what everybody remembered, Coach Tanner chewing us out for, and it was just one of those moments, like, in the time it sucked, but it was the funniest part, and it was kind of our turning point in our team. I feel like, well, then we get mollywopped by Clemson at home, like 19-6. So outside of those two series, a flip switch, and the stars started to line up for us, and we started winning games that we should win, and then we won every game we're supposed to win, which is like our midweeks. I don't think we lost a midweek game that year, and obviously, history repeats it. Tells itself. We go get through the SEC. We go down to the SEC tournament, but none of us really care to go
Yeah,
play the
you
SEC.
guys sucked in the SEC tournament.
Because it's Hoover, Alabama. You eat mall food for a week, and it's just a miserable, hot place to play. The ballpark's a dead zone. It's just dead. The ball doesn't jump there, and you're in a mall and you're eating Chick-fil-A, or you're bouncing between Chick-fil-A, the Chinese restaurant, and like spending your meal money at some shoe store or some stupid.
And
I always
you already know you're getting a regional too, so you're like, yeah, like this.
Yeah, we're already getting a regional. We won the games we need to. These are the tournaments for the teams that are like on the cusp of losing out or not getting there. So the 2010, we go down there 2-Q, get shit back, and Coach Tanner's like, "Get ready for 2 days." I'm like, 2 days of baseball, easy. You know what I'm talking. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
2 days in high school football in Florida in August.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah. Okay.
You
I'll
gonna
see
make
you
me
then.
hit twice? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Let me let me run a couple extra 30-yard sprints on the baseball field. I just remember getting yelled at by all the guys on the team because I'm like, I was always a kid that's gonna give it his all.
Yeah.
It's probably why I always got hurt. You know, my high school football coach used to call me like the firecracker. I'd be like, oh, and then I get hurt. But I was
Damn.
always playing with some kind
Yeah.
of injury. Yeah, I got my ankle.
This
My
Pat
senior year of
DiMarco
football
rolled up
with
his ankle like
yeah, like Pat tackled me and I step on his cleat and totally popped the outside of my ankle. I spat it up and kicked the rest of the game, and I had to cut it off because my skin was lapping over. It was so swollen.
Jesus.
And
as you can tell, Robert's not a baseball player. He's a football baseball player.
Oh, no
yeah,
doubt about it.
so when like 2 days in baseball, I was like, this is awesome. I was getting yelled at because I was sprinting and everybody was pissy because they were all like, hey, stay close together. Let's run as a team so we're not running that hard, but we're looking like we're running hard kind of thing. In the football world, coaches know when you're lollygagging.
Yep.
And you didn't.
For sure.
You weren't going to be that guy that was going to make them run another 10 gashers
Yep.
because you didn't sprint the last one. So I just remember getting yelled at from there. And at that point of my career here in 2010, I was kind of like the DH or pinch hitter, so I wasn't playing full time, but I was playing enough. And we get into the playoffs. We play the regionals at home, and I think we're playing Bucknell, and we're sucking. I don't even know who Bucknell is. Never even heard of the school.
No.
We're sucking. We can't hit nothing, and that's when and this is the smart ass side of me, I guess you would say. And I've had to tell this story a few times on different programs. But I took a fungo bat and I had a baseball, and I took some athletic tape and I taped the baseball to it, and I wrote bat on ball. And I went to I wasn't playing, and this was just me just trying to. You could be mad at me as long as you get a hit next time. I was like, hey guys. I went to everyone it was in the dugout. It's before a rain delay. And I'm like, hey guys, this is, if you take a picture of a hit, this is the first point of contact. And I went up to Whit, and Whit was like, shut up, Beary. And I was like, and so when he was walking out to go get a hit, I tapped him with it. I was like, I don't care what it is, you're getting a hit. And so that was where the Avatar, it wasn't the Avatar Spirit Stick yet, but that's where it all started.
Yeah.
No shit.
And it was me being a smart butt and trying to pitch. You can be mad at me, but go take it out and get it to a hit. Yeah, you can be mad at me all you want. I don't care if you don't like me. Just go get a hit. This is Bucknell. I don't even know where they're from.
Oh shit.
So, and then a rain delay happens, and then this is the year of the Avatar. And so that was the whole story. So we have this stick, this fungo with a baseball tape to it, and some gloves and whatever else. And back then it wasn't iPhones; it was the little slide BlackBerries still alive, and a couple phones, and they all just. So we had all the lights going and the phones starting to flash, and we're doing the Avatar thing when they're praying to the tree or whatever, and making all kinds of weird noises and whatnot. I guess Coach Calvi, I didn't know this, but Coach Calvi stuck his head in and was like, nope, and just went back to the offices and told the coaches that we were doing some kind of crazy chant. Coach Tanner was like, I don't care what they're doing as long as they come out and get some freaking hits. So come out, the Spirit Stick's in hand, or this bat's in hand, and I don't know who was up to bat. I don't know if it was Bobby or Wingo. That kind of started off, but it wasn't someone you expected to hit a home run or something.
I was about to say, those two were not known for their bats. They were glove guys.
Not until at least Wingo's senior year, he hit 8 or 9, and that was unheard of, and with different bats. And so I just remember like it was Jeff Jones next to me, and this is he's a big old country redhead from Texas, and we were sitting next to each other, and I said, "All right, we need a ball in the gap." So I'd take the bat and lean it with the ball angled up a little, and next thing you know, ball gets smacked over the fence, and we looked at each other. And I think Bobby Haney got the bunt sign. I was like, all right, we need a bunt. So I angled the bat down towards third and had the ball pointed down. And Bobby got the bunt down. We just started looking at each other. We're like, oh, shit, I think this is magic. So that's where all the real deep story of that bat. And then I had to go in and play some defense. I think Jackie hit a backside bomb and tied it up. I got put into right field to play defense late in the game, and a ball got hit to the corner, and I like snow coned it, and threw the ball in. We ended up winning. I can't remember the score, but we ended up winning the game. And I think I handed it to what was his name? Patrick.
So Pat Sullivan.
Oh, who?
Patrick Sullivan.
Sullivan. Yeah. I was like his brother's Sean.
Yeah.
And so I handed it to him, and that's where like the colors started to come in, all the different taping. So I was like, hey man, this is like, bring it on, don't drop, let the spirit stick hit the ground kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And that's when it turned into the colorful Avatar spirit stick.
If you give a midweek pitcher some time to like focus on something, like Sullivan lives like 2 streets over from me now. We do a bunch of them, and I could only imagine if you free him up to do something creative.
Yeah. He was the perfect person to pass the torch to, and so he became the keeper of the stick, and he ran with it, and the magic stayed in the stick all the way through, regionals and super regionals, and then really exploded nationally known, and obviously in Omaha, which was the incredible side of playing in that stadium on top of the hill.
Yeah, I mean, you closed out Rosenblatt, didn't you? That was 2010. Yeah.
Closed it out and opened up TD.
Yeah.
And you can't beat the atmosphere of Rosenblatt. It was so cool. Mm-hmm. You're on top of a hill, so the jet stream and balls. I hit some of the furthest balls in my life in Nebraska.
Yeah.
I mean, just the air and just everything. I think the whole point of, I think it was me, Michael Roth, Ebert, and Parker Baines. We were all in like one hitting group, and like that whole hitting group was either a pinch hit or a DH, and we just tried to hit the ball out of the stadium.
Yep.
Like that was it. We were there for just hit bombs and BP, and we'd hit do our slaps and what Tanner wanted us to do. But the last 2 rounds, we just try to hit it out of the stadium and see if we can get it out. So you couldn't beat that kind of an atmosphere in Rosenblatt, and then we win. I don't know. Have y'all seen the?
I haven't seen the Jake Williams.
Yeah. Have you seen?
I never watched it. I heard it was awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really good, and he did a phenomenal job. It took him forever. We thought he was full of shit for about 10 years.
Yeah,
and it finally came together, and it's a tearjerker, especially. I mean,
you lived
just to start. Oh, I cried my ass. In the interview, they asked me one question about Baylor Teal, and that's when I had my oldest son. I have 3, and he asked, and I just like choked up. I said, "Man, someone losing a kid like that to an unfortunate disease, and having a kid of yourself, man, it ate me up, and you need maybe not Garcia." But you'll need some tissues if you watch it.
Oh, I know he's got
what does that
Garcia
mean?
got a little soft spot to him. I know he does.
Every now and then.
Your boy's looking to be going to college here soon, right?
Shit, yeah, man. He's 18 years old and trying to find him a home right now. It's this high school recruiting is significantly different than
really
when we were in high school. Yeah. It's insane with NIL and transfer portal and all this other shit. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep up with you and watch Memphis through there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
What?
is. It is.
Well, you probably can't say anything right now, but I mean, is he looking to go in big school, big power four?
No, no, probably go a little bit smaller. He's all pissed off. He wants, believe it or not, he wants to go to South Carolina. And I was like, dude, go where you're gonna play, man.
Yeah,
You're not gonna play here right now. You need to go where you're gonna play, and then kind of climb the corporate ladder, as they say. So, you
yeah,
know, it's exactly what an 18-year-old kid wants to hear.
Yeah,
You know,
totally.
yeah.
yeah.
Dad, you
I
don't
had
want
to,
to
So,
I climbed it a different way.
yeah. I
I
mean,
went the junior college route, which was like a glorified high school.
but it's pretty cool. We actually threw this morning. They didn't have school today, so took them out there to throw with the combine prep guys, and Diego Pavia is down here, and I was like, I'm gonna go introduce you to Diego. You need to hear his story about how he started at New Mexico military, and then kind of took the whole ladder. And
Yep.
shit, you look at Diego's Instagram and his Twitter, you would think he's an absolute dickhead, but he's salt to the earth, dude, man. He's unbelievable. I mean, he probably spent close to 30 minutes after he got done running, after we got done throwing, and like just shooting the shit with Memphis. So it was pretty
Great.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when Diego was little, he was looking up to you.
And I don't
If
I
you
doubt
think about it,
I doubt Diego's gonna ever see this, but he's still looking up because he is a tiny, tiny guy.
is he really?
Oh my god.
That's wild. And
It's
he was
it doesn't matter.
impressive.
He is a fucking gamer though, man.
He's a
Like
Oh
in
baller.
yeah.
every sense of the word. Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah.
that's wild. I knew he was small, but I didn't know he was that.
Oh, yeah. He's a tiny dude, but
Dang.
um
Good for
yeah,
him, man. He turned Vanderbilt around. That was impressive.
yeah, no doubt about it. I wanted to ask you, Barry, so at Rosenblatt, when you guys won, I remember sitting right next to your parents when you guys won.
No way.
Um, yeah,
I think my mom told me that.
yeah, I was right next to your mom. I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, I know Robert well, man. We partied together." She's like, "Oh, you're the quarterback, huh? Yeah, stay away from my son. Don't corrupt him."
No,
Nah, she didn't say that,
I
but it
always
was
had a soft spot for picking Steven up when he needed it the most.
no, no doubt, no doubt, and it happened.
we
It happened
we
a
had
lot more
some
often than
random
I
nights
needed.
where Steve would like Garcia called me. What do you need? Where are you?
Yep. It's yeah. And it was crazy, man. You look back at those days and it's like I'd do anything to have those days again, man. That was so damn fun.
They were fun.
And now I got freaking these kids. Pat, it's every single one, man. Every single podcast we do, there's some sort of kid
Some kid
interaction.
appearance. It's
You get
yeah.
are you getting the look? See, I gave mine melatonin, so they were out like at 7:45 just in time.
No, so yeah, it was our daughter's birthday yesterday too, and she's been on a freaking high pretty much all week.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and then Celia's in there trying to put her to bed right now. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, just go back to you were sitting next to my mom.
No, it was just funny, and I just wanted to kind of just pick your brain. I mean, this is kind of irrelevant, but do you still talk with like Morales and Witt and all
Oh
those
yeah.
other guys from that team?
Oh yeah. We social media, so like you uh Jackie and I, I follow Jackie and we banter back and forth and he's playing now. He's playing in the Banana League, which I
But
think is
yeah, I saw that.
No.
Kyle Martin, who I didn't play with, but Kyle and I follow each other on social media and he's playing banana ball and all that. Morales and I talk probably the most. I'm always keeping an eye out of athletes here locally. I mean, hey man, I actually work with a kid here at Dutch Fort who his dad played at Carolina. He was a linebacker, All
Say
American
hi.
linebacker.
Okay, you're fine.
Hey, she is a junior U.
Yeah.
I get that a lot.
Yeah. But you ever heard the name Andre Offing in the like the wall of Carolina? Well,
No.
he was a
Yeah.
linebacker at
Okay.
Carolina in the mid to late '90s. And I actually worked under him here at Richland County.
Yeah.
He was my sergeant when I was on the gang unit. But his son, Ethan,
Richland County. That's another PTSD term I don't like to remember.
you had sheriff out on
No,
speed dial.
Yeah.
not not fond of that whole deal. I am now though. I'm supporting you. You know.
So yeah, so I'd talk to
You guys had a
Morales.
great group, like top to bottom. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
we did a lot together, football, baseball. We all partied together. We all hung together. Like it was a cool, like from 2009 all the way through 2011. Like it was just a gelled group. Like,
Yeah.
there were, I guess there were controversies at times when, baseball guys dated football guys, old girlfriends and vice versa, kind of back and forth. But outside of that, like we were all just down to have a good time.
Yeah, that's it. That was it. Where was the bar that needed,
Yeah.
a boost in their
And their sales.
yeah, in their sales. It was either saloon, Sharkies, I think the baseball bar ended up really becoming a Village Idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, Pat. Like there was times I'd be downtown. Nobody on the baseball seat would want to go out, so I'd call up Devin Taylor and be like Robin Big,
Yeah.
hanging out downtown. It's just the random things, Byron Jardo and all those guys. We'd all just randomly be downtown at some point. I remember taking a ski shot at the Irish pub,
Delaney's. Yeah.
Delaney.
Delaney's. Yes.
I think it was like, I guess after the 2011, a bunch of the guys. I think I had to stand on a stool to take the shot with Garcia and old linemen that were there.
That's great.
Oh
So
shit.
some random nights. I was the kind of guy that I could find a group of people that I knew and just roll with it.
Yeah.
I kind of that was just me always through high school. I mean, if it was football, soccer, or baseball, I could just find a group and just work my way in and have a good time.
Yeah. I want to
But
hear like like catchers are kind of like you guys are like psychologists for pitchers at times. Like how did you have to play mind games with pitchers to like get them recalibrated? Did you have to like have different ways to motivate certain guys? Like kind of how did it work? Different personality of pitcher and you kind of manipulating their mind to make them get back on track.
yeah, in a way, you kind of do. I mean, catching was I always tell kids, catching is a sport or a position that it's almost like a personality position.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to have that, like the dog in you. Even if you don't do it full time, you just have to have that like innate instinct of the game and understanding the game, because you really see different things that you can relay back to coach with certain hitters where they're at in the baseball box or wherever their hole is in their swing, or you think you could probably sneak one by them. When I caught, for the most part, with like a guy like Roth, Roth kind of knew the game himself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he probably could have been a catcher too when it comes to like knowing how to compete and be on the mound. So Roth and I just catch the ball, throw it back as fast because he
Keep
wanted.
doing your thing, bro.
Yeah, like he wanted to have the pace in his favor. So when he was on the mound, he wanted to control the momentum. And there was times he'd be like, "Hey, Barry, get it back to me faster." Okay, like that was it. I just catch it and throw it, and just to keep him. Kumis was a young guy that had a little success, and was a big help in the 2011 year.
Yeah.
That you sometimes you had to pep talk him a little in there. Price
What
was a
about
guy.
what about
Price was a
Sam?
guy. Sam Dyson.
Yeah.
You
I
just
knew
hope
this
the
was going to
Sam.
come up.
You just hope the dominant Sam Dyson showed up, because you could he was a freak of nature.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah.
And I tell this to his face. He's a guy that I could probably call and have a conversation with. But like there was a Sam Dyson that didn't want to show up and would just the team would tattoo him and he'd get pulled out in the third. And then there was a Sam Dyson that he would throw 91, 93 for the first 3 innings, and then like 4, 5, 6 he'd be 94 to 97, and then 7, 8, 9, he'd be 97 to 101.
Yeah.
Like the guy would get better as the game went on. And I remember, Sam just being a guy that could run fly balls down in the outfield and then go leg press like 1,200 pounds and rep it out. Like he was a freak. And then effortlessly throw 100 miles an hour from the mound. So, and Sam's the kind of guy, some pitchers they have personalities. He's a guy you don't say much to because I don't want you to come shoot me.
Yeah.
But Sam and I, we had a pretty good relationship for the short year that we were together. But yeah, like he was the kind of like there's just some pitchers and he was one that made it the big leagues. There's some people you just
don't.
you just don't push that
You just
button.
don't with. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just not gonna say, hey man, throw it harder. No, actually, don't throw it hard. Just do your thing, dog.
Do you, man? Just leave. Just take it easy. I'm on your team. I'm on your side.
Yeah. I was the guy that never got drafted, and all these guys that we're talking about made to the big leagues. A guy like Tyler Webb, like love Tyler to death, and I'm glad he's back in town. I think I was hard on Tyler Webb at sometimes, and he's and y'all have talked to him. He is just an even keel dude. It's like,
just chill. Yeah.
yeah, he's 6 foot 900, and throws 90, 92 from the left side and makes it, spends a handful of years in the big leagues.
Yeah.
And, there was times that I jumped down his throat and then got my ass chewed for jumping down his throat.
I feel like Price was a weird one though. Like I feel like he was able to elevate and like he kind of always like manned up to the situation. Like how did you get a guy like that going?
With Price, Price. My senior year was me, Price, Jackie, and then a freshman pitcher that I think ended up redshirting. We were all roommates at the Woodlands. Back then it was the Woodlands. I don't know what it's called. But we were at the Woodlands, I think just above or just down the door from Roth and Ryan Fisher.
Yeah, the party room.
And and Adam Matthews in them. So I would go out. Jackie never really went out. Price didn't really go out. I'd go. I was kind of the going out guy in that group. But we always played Call of Duty back when like the zombies was a big thing. So a lot of time spent playing video games with each other. But Price was a guy. He was a gamer. He's like one of those guys that was just going to show up, hit his spots, and compete. And I didn't really have to talk to him much. And it was more of like business conversations in the dugout. Like, hey, how are you feeling? Hey, this guy, we talk about hitters. But a lot of times when a pitcher's in the zone, don't talk to him. Like Price would get in the zone. You can look over there. He's got his heat pad. I had my heat pad. And, we were in the moment. And that was it. Like, you don't need to talk to him. A guy like Colby Holmes, he had probably his best outing that I ever caught was against West Virginia in 2011 after a rain delay. He was hitting 97, and I could have probably caught that game blind. He was hitting his spots, and his curveballs and his breaking balls were working really well, and he shut them down. But he was the kind of the guy that was just this good old country boy from wherever and threw the ball hard. And I think his brother's still playing for the Braves or something.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he's the one. He had like real long curly hair. I forgot his name.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing a picture of him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like eastbound and down long hair. So he was a first rounder or something pitcher. So he comes from good stock, or Kobe did. But on the catching side of things, when I've caught full time, we just had a bunch of guys that could compete. We weren't the biggest and the flashiest team out there, and by far, like you had guys, teams like Vanderbilt, Florida. They had stud guys all the way around. Had numbers, home run numbers, had big numbers, and You had guys like Sonny Gray at Vanderbilt threw 100 miles an hour at 5', 11 or 10. That's all I heard was Sonny Gray, Sonny Gray, Sonny Gray. You had guys that like Drew Pomerantz in 2010 threw the piss out of from the left side. But like those two teams, even with the guys that left after they got drafted, it was a group of guys that could compete no matter which way the game was going. We could be down by 2 or 3, we can be up by 1, and we could be 1-1 for the entire game. We didn't worry about what we couldn't control and just stayed in the game. And when it was time to make something happen, it happened. And really, and then in 2011, we had bases loaded 4 times with no outs and got out every single time. And in the baseball world, that should not ever happen.
Yeah.
We should, especially in the World Series, in the World Series tournament.
Well,
just
you
I know
can't.
that's a good segue. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you can't. Like some of the most memorable moments that you had at Carolina was during those moments.
yeah,
Talk about the scoop. Talk about the double play. Talk about those big moments. I mean, that's the stuff that the fans would love to hear about.
and we have 2010. We had go against Oklahoma. I'm pinch hitting in these games, and I'm stealing second. I'm the catcher, but I'm stealing second, and we have those games, and then Witt brings it home for us in 2010, and then 2011 we get back, and now we're the team to beat. Supposedly, and we're basically the same team, other than a couple spots.
Yep.
I
remember in the finals, because I was there in 11, like watching you guys play Florida in the finals. Like Florida was like anywhere between 6 foot and 6'4" was their entire roster.
Yeah.
So it was like first rounder, second rounder, first rounder, second rounder. And then you look at like our roster.
Their catcher played like 10 years plus in the big leagues.
Yeah, but like Carolina's team was like, Tyler Webb, Whit Merrifield. Like it was like 6'1", 5'7".
Yeah, we look like a bad cell phone connection. A few of us missing, and then there's Tyler Webb.
But y'all did the damn thing.
Yeah, it's fun to like laugh about it, and it's cool to talk to y'all about it, the football guys on the other side. I mean, y'all had 11 game seasons and stuff like that. Y'all did some impressive stuff. We're the last generation to be worth the shit, I feel like.
Yeah. You said it.
Correct. Yeah, you said it. You said it, and we did not disagree.
But going back to the 2011 stuff, like we had bases loaded, no outs, got out of all those jams. However, that had happened, and then we're playing. We play Florida in the final series, and Florida was a place I wanted to go to too. And they called me, and they're like, "Hey, man, we've got like 8 lefties. We need a righty." And I was like, "Well, you got money?" And they're like, "Man."
Yeah.
So I was like, "We'll stop calling, because I've got these other schools that are gonna pay." And so it was fun, really, kind of giving it to them.
Yep.
In the final was nice. But going back to like, I guess we're playing in that first game. Obviously, it's a tight game. We get into these jams. I guess 2 of them were with Florida and 2 of them were with Virginia in the semifinals. So we get into these jams with Florida. I remember John Taylor is up on the mound, and I think I saw him every day for 50 games because he ties the record or something. And he gets up there, throws his submarine pitches, and people are asking, "Well, how'd you do it?" I was like, it's baseball. It's you either do it and be a hero, or you don't, and you're remembered as a loser.
Pretty simple.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's baseball. It's not. It's just a sport of inches and millimeters or whatnot. And Wingo makes that diving play up the middle and just gets up and throws it, and ball short hops, and I'm the guy that needs to make the next big play. Boom. I pick it, almost like I was playing catch with right before the game, just warming up. Every once in a while you got to pick one. So you pick one in the glove. Thank God I made it because I'm remembered for doing that and not remembered for missing it.
Yeah.
Don't be a
and,
loser.
and Tanner was a legend of a coach, a Hall of Famer, and this and that. When the old man tells you, hey Bear, you probably had one of the most important plays in the picks of college baseball, it says something. And I was like, didn't make it to the big leagues, so that's good enough for me.
Yeah, that's on you, coach.
Yeah, as long as you remember me, Coach Tanner. uh, so yeah, you got the pick, that was great, and then we stuff that we worked with during practice. The do we call it do or dies. The ball to left field or to the outfielders, you got to throw a strike to the home plate or one hop it to the plate. These are things that we did daily. I mean, we always did those, and it's about taking. Try to talk to these younger generations. You got to take those things serious because it's not just in and out. It's you're working on something. Be perfect. The game's not perfect, but you need to be perfect when the opportunity's there. And then you get Zanino up to the plate. They got a guy on second. It was Bucky Dent's son. Zanino, thank God he hit the ball hard as he did, because and I always tell Jake this, and I told him in the last interview in his thing, Jake didn't have the strongest arm in the SEC.
No.
You had Jackie that could throw it 102 from center field. Then you had Jake that was like down here, but he'd throw it, and well, Zanino hit it hard. Jake came in hard, scooped it clean, threw it, and Morales. I remember Morales, one of his interviews. You just watch it go, and it was like, oh, just one of those like didn't realize what was going on. And Jake throws it just to the left of the line, and the ball literally like hits the heel of my glove, and I trap it with my hand. And like the only time I've told anyone this was in Jake's 30 for 30 or whatever this in the spirit interviewed. Like I trapped that ball, and as I was tagging Dent, the ball was like rolling out, and I was able to hold on to it with my hand. And yeah, you want to talk about
Game of inches,
Singing.
millimeters, centimeters. God.
yeah, be the guy that dropped. Oh yeah, you picked it. Yeah, cool, and you threw him out at blah blah blah. But being the guy that dropped the ball when the ball was thrown, I had 2 times, and I just remember like tagging, and like my momentum spun me and standing up, and there's a picture of me like this with the ball and facing Florida's dugout. And that's like one of those, being from Florida, not really getting a chance to play there, which it wasn't meant to be. It is what it is. But like doing that kind of was like the football moment for me. Is like,
I think you hit the nail on the head, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Pat, I don't know what you feel like, but people always think like, oh, Alabama's like the best game ever. Like, I thought being Florida in the swamp to clinch the SECs in the swamp. I mean, that was by far the best.
Most memorable game in South Carolina.
I think so for sure.
yeah,
Especially us being from Florida and saying,
yeah, all of us, yeah, all of
yeah,
us just. Those, I don't know what it was, but I was recruited, but I wasn't respected in a way of what I could bring to a team or what I thought I can bring to a team back then. And South Carolina was the place I wanted to come, but like in the recruiting world, you can't let all your cards, you
for
can't show
sure.
your hand all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
So when I got the opportunity and the scholarship that I was given here, I was blessed, and you couldn't turn it away, especially back then. And it was the right choice, Like Morales and I have talked over the years. We laugh. We're 2 JUCO bandits from Florida. We played each other in the state title or whatever, and the tournament down there in Bradenton or wherever it was, hot as hell, in the old ballpark down there. And we just laugh. We're like, we came here 2 years, win 2 titles. Deuces.
Out of here. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell
No
took you
doubt.
guys so long? Why didn't you do this the last 2 years?
Yeah. And then the guys go back in 2012, and you're watching it, and they dropped it in the finals, but like you're not going to see those kind of cats anymore. Those teams like
You're
you know,
right.
And
and
but
even
a
on
bunch of
y'all's
dudes
end.
that just were like, I feel like even our team, like we were so tight that we were so worried about letting each other down, like that we
Yeah.
didn't want to lose. Like it was more of like I could care less what the fans or
Oh,
what the
100%.
student body thinks of it. Like I don't want to let the guy who I grinded with all summer, all winter workouts. I don't want to let him down.
100%. And and that goes back just even in the high school days of football. It's that same mentality. I remember finishing up school, like Steve and I were talking about joining the military and whatnot, and doing the
Yeah.
whole special forces stuff, and girlfriends and life changes and other decisions were made, and we're probably better off where we're at now. I
No,
still have
that I wish I did it,
Yeah, yeah.
but no, I just shoot all these specialty guns in my backyard, pretending just pissing off the neighborhood.
I still like the fact that you have to put the extra tall screen in your backyard because it's mad.
Yep. Oh shit. No, but it is kind of wild just how life kind of turns out. Pat played 10 years in the NFL. I didn't play shit. Went up to Canada, hated it. Um, you I mean, you kind of like what did you do after a ball? Like, you just go straight
Um,
into.
well, so going into that last about month and a half of baseball my senior year, I remember doing it. We had a rain delay, good old rain delay. Before our last midweek game, I ended up throwing down to second, not warming up enough, and I just remember feeling something in my throwing arm, and I was like, that doesn't feel good. So luckily, catching, I was always throwing, so like it just stayed warm, but I ended up tearing my rotator cuff. Like,
Oh,
Oh
geez.
shit.
so all of the latter end of the season through super regional or regional super regionals in the World Series, I was throwing people out with partial torn rotator. So I
Damn.
and then, like I didn't say anything, and before I like lost the insurance from school, I was like, "Hey, Dr. Mazaway, let's go ahead and do an MRI." And so I was like, "All right." So before I was completely out of school, I got an MRI done. And he goes, "Yep, you got a partial torn." And I was like, "Do we need surgery if I want to try to chase the dream?" And he's like, "Well, just sit a couple months, don't throw, let it see if it'll heal on its own." And it did to a point. So I went and tried the independent ball out in Illinois. I went and played in Normal, Illinois.
Oh, geez.
Ain't nothing normal out there. And the closest Bass Pro Shop was Peoria. So like the only thing I don't know, I'm driving around a Pontiac GT or whatever it is that I had at the time. So I'm driving 45 minutes to something normal other than Normal, Illinois.
Yeah.
End up getting cut from there, and thank God I did because I'm pretty sure that team was like 13-75, and it was
Oh
horrible. By
shit.
the time, yeah, it was terrible. And so I got cut from there, and drove all the way from Illinois to my brother's down. He was down at Pensacola,
Mhm.
and he was tearing it up. So he was getting recruited by like TCU and places. Ended up playing at Marshall because he ended up having a shoulder injury. So I went down to Pensacola, spent the weekend with there, and did the Stephen Garcia in Pensacola because I could.
Had a good old time.
Yeah, had a good old time at the beach. That was a cool. Pensacola's a cool place. I heard
I do like I do
it's a
like Pensacola.
yeah, and so I spent some time with my brother down there with him, and then drove the rest of the way home. And now I'm like, I don't know what to do with my life. Um, I got hooked up with my buddy Joe. He owns Osseo Gear here in Columbia. He started a camo company. But prior to that, he owns a couple other businesses and hunts on TV. And he used to hunt on TV for like Tom Miranda shows and a couple of his shows. And so I'm like, fresh out of college or whatever, ain't got a care in the world. No sports now. I don't know what to do with my time other than, hey, I got a lot of time to hunt.
Yeah.
And so Joe's like, and he's a big baseball supporter. They've got a suite in the box now up at the stadium every year. And so Joe and I got hooked up, and he was like, hey, man, I need a cameraman. So after I got that very year, after I got finished, I traveled the U.S. with Joe and filmed his deer hunts. And
That's pretty
learned
badass.
be a camera guy. And I grew up, I didn't hunt a lot because of sports, but it's something I've always enjoyed doing. I would watch whitetail hunting on TV left and right during those times, that I wasn't doing anything. And to be able to go do it for, a fall season, I thought it was pretty cool. I should have probably stuck with it a little more, but again, I just didn't know where I was going to do with my life. Everybody else has gotten drafted, got a big old paycheck, and I was trying to figure it out. So that was a lot of fun, and Joe and I are still really good friends, and he's doing, the company's doing magnificent. He's taking over. I can tell you right now, he's going to take over in the camo world.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to be, somewhat a part of that journey. Yeah, and then was it 2013? So 2012 was when we were talking about going in the military.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the tree and we were reading the No Easy Day. We were talking about that, and I was sitting in a deer stand doing all that.
No shit.
Yeah, and then so about 2013, I actually started taking it serious. I came back home in the summer of 2013. I think I coached high school baseball at Heathwood Hall for that spring season. And then the summer, I moved back home, and my dad was overseas contracting still. So I kind of was just helping mom out around the house, working for Boar's Head. I was working in a cooler, like waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I actually had to finish one Portuguese class to get my degree. And I'm sitting here working at Boar's Head for like 6 months, like contemplating life choices. I was like on the top of the world a year and a half ago. Now I'm inside this 30-degree cooler at 3 o'clock in the morning in Florida. So I'm like, I call my sports advisor. It was Steve Bondurant at the time, who was a fellow baseball player turned employee. And so I was like, Bondo, get me in that Portuguese class.
Yep.
And so I got back into school and finished in the spring of 14. Graduated, or finally officially got my athletic ring, and met my wife that spring. So like anything, the stars just align.
All happen for a reason.
Sports, and the stars aligned of dropping out of that Portuguese class and having to come back and finish and meet my wife. Now I've got 3 wonderful boys that keep me busy, but it's exciting because Cade's, he's 5 now, but he's about 3'11". He's like 75 pounds.
Holy smokes!
He's been doing jiu-jitsu for about a year now. We just started t-ball, and like I don't know what it is. I want him to do everything I didn't do. So like the martial arts, I got him into that first, and I was very adamant about trying to like starting him early in t-ball because it's worse than watching paint dry. Because you just want to like teach him everything, but then you can just ruin a kid so fast. Because I know how I am. You just want to be like, "This is how you do it." And you're like, because that's the kind of coaches I grew up with. My dad wasn't really my coach; he was my dad. I had a bunch of hard-nosed coaches, and I could really, like Coach Blackman, Huey, he was a big time. But Bobby Brewer, who was another Central Florida name, Rodney Brewer played in the big leagues. His brother. These are guys that I grew up, listening to about baseball. And, I still talk to Brandon, Bobby's son, who's now coaching at Miami. He's a assistant coach in Miami. And, I grew up with, Coach Darlington. I'm sure you've seen it. core, the Hall of Fame high school coach down there. And he's got some hardcore kids. Like he's got 7 kids, and all of them played D1 somewhere. And he was hard nosed. Like he was only there my senior year because he actually came back from Valdosta and came back to Apopka my senior year. Funny story about it.
The problem is kids are so different nowadays. Like,
Yeah,
it's like, I don't think. I mean, some of them can, but most kids can't take that type of coaching criticism.
right.
Like, I mean,
Softer
even
than baby shit.
I mean, my son Weston, he's 10 and he's the greatest kid in the whole wide world. Birthday yesterday, but I just try to remind him, like, if I'm coaching you and you do something wrong, it is my job to correct your mistake,
Right.
just like I do everybody else. Like, just because it's dad saying it to you and not somebody else saying it to you, I'm not attacking you. I'm just correcting you, buddy.
Yeah.
Love you to death. Stop taking everything like I'm criticizing and chastising you. Like,
Yeah. Oh, and Cade's my sensitive one, but he's a good, like what I've noticed with him and even at school, like I asked one of our family friends is a assistant teacher or a, part-time teacher now, even though she's retired. I asked her today, I was like, how does Cade in the classroom? He goes, man, he participates. He's polite. He uses manners. I was like, good, because he doesn't use any of that at the house. So I'm happy. So I yell and scream at him all day long at the house, but he's outside the walls, and he's an angel. Good. I'm glad with that.
Good. Yeah, you did your job.
Yeah, and in the jiu-jitsu world, I know some basics just in the law enforcement side of things, but I don't know enough. And the guy that's teaching them, there's 2 families in the jiu-jitsu world. You got the Rainey Gracies and the Saw, and they were like the pioneers of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Well, lo and behold, here in Columbia, South Carolina, one of the sons or grandsons of a Saw family is teaching here right off of St. Andrews Road. So I got him into jiu-jitsu, and I don't know much about it. So I just, it's letting Cade, be disciplined and coached by someone else. And I just stay back. And that's kind of the reason why I've been hesitant of getting him into baseball. But my wife's like, oh, I want him to play t-ball. I was like, all right. And I just sit there and, I've tried to coach him a little bit. He'll smack the ball around. We just got to work on our catching. So I threw some t-balls up in the air. I was like, use your glove to protect your face.
Yeah.
You'll learn. You don't want to get hit in the face. Put your glove there.
That's the best way to learn, man.
Yeah. So he only took a baseball off the forehead and the back of the head twice. I was like, quit crying. Use your glove to protect yourself.
no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm sure it doesn't hurt as bad as running into Melvin Ingram's heavy ass head, right, Pat?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, we got a couple quick rapid fire questions that we're going to ramble off from your time at Carolina. So it's about teammates and some of your memories there. So give us quick answers if you can. You want to start off, Steve?
Sure. Best pitcher you ever caught for?
I would say Price and Roth.
Mm-hmm. All right. Who's the teammate who made the dugout looser?
Pat Sullivan, Wingo at times, depending on what time frame. Mm-hmm. Pat Sullivan was a big teammate, cheerleader off the field if he wasn't on the mound. Yeah. We had a bunch of really goofy dudes. I mean, John Taylor was another one that when he wasn't pitching could loosen up everyone. Roth was the same way. If he was, it's just if you ever watch some of the videos and panning the dugout, how goofy the dugout was during a tie ball game in the 13th, and we're dancing like ding dongs. That's why we, going back to 2010, Nomar Garcia Power was commentating in 2010, and he said something about it, and he was like, how do you beat a team that's dancing around, acting like goofballs, playing jokes on each other, and it's a tie ball game in the 13th, and you got the other team that. So it's just one of those things.
Yeah, that's a good point. What's your favorite Omaha memory?
Ooh. There's things I can't talk about. You know what? 2010, I think, other than obviously winning, dogpiling, winning, 2010 we got to. That was during the World Cup,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah,
think
that's right.
yeah, and USA, and none of us really cared to watch soccer other than the World Cup. And I think USA, and I think was it Landon Donovan. I guess he was the kind of like balding guy, and he was his last World Cup. Well, they ended up scoring like in the 94th minute of some game, and we're inside the Hilton in downtown Omaha, and it's one of those nice inners. It's got a big lobby, pond, and everything, and like the whole place erupted. We all come running out of our rooms, individual rooms, and people that were staying there, and we're just like, yeah! And it was like USA, and like we could care less about soccer any other time. But I thought
And
that was outside of baseball and a fun memory. That was probably a pretty cool moment.
It is those small moments in life. All right, one word to describe the 2010 team.
One word,
Mhm.
um, resilient, I guess. Yeah,
same question for 2011.
veteran grit, I would say. You
But
know,
you put a hyphen and make that one word.
yeah,
Yeah.
Apopka or Columbia? What's a better place to raise a family?
pretty equal in the crime, but I would say I think I
What
think
an
Columbia.
answer.
Yeah, crime
That's a,
rates. I think I like Columbia because it's big enough that you don't know everybody, but it's small enough that you know a lot of people.
Yeah,
That's if it
good point.
makes sense.
if you had a walk up song today, what would it be?
Ooh. Um.
That's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. I would probably say "Hard Fought Hallelujah." It's kind of not really, but last 10 years, law enforcement and really seeing a lot. Um, Going through a lot in the last 10 years. Yeah, I think it would be like that would probably be it.
I love that.
Yeah,
All right.
that Brand Lake and Jelly Roll, they really hit it off there.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you did leave a legacy, but like, what are you most proud of being remembered for here at South Carolina?
just being a part of those teams, it's not really there's no really individual accolades, um, but being a part of something bigger than myself, and being a part of the school while y'all were successful is just as I can sit there and say, well, when I was in school, we were 11-1 seasons and we were studs and we beat Alabama at home and I didn't have a voice for a week. Those are the times that you can really enjoy being a Carolina fan and, someone from Florida and now a forever Carolina fan, even though my kids will probably go to Georgia or somewhere else.
Well, dude,
Who knows?
that's what it's all about. That's why Steve and I did this podcast, and that's why we're so honored to have a guy like you on. Come share your story, the impact that South Carolina made on you, but also you made on it.
Yeah.
So Steve and I talk about it all the time. We feel like we left the place better than we found it, and you for damn sure did too. So appreciate y'all you did. Appreciate who you are. Appreciate your service now. No, you're the man.
I appreciate y'all having me on here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Glad you accepted the invitation today and we made it happen.
It was kind of funny. I actually thought about it not too like maybe last week. I was like, hey, Garcia ain't hit me up. Well, yeah.
What the
And
fuck I do to him?
so and then I was like, well, I'm off today. I'm off tomorrow. Uh, so it worked out perfect. I'm glad we got it. We got to do it.
Hell yeah, man. Absolutely. I'll be in touch with you, man, and would love to hang out with you when we get up there in Columbia.
Yeah, holler at me if you get out this way.
I will for sure.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, well, see y'all.